If you are a Canadian senior and you depend on your government benefits to cover your rent, your groceries, your medication, or your daily essentials, then what you are about to read in the next few minutes could directly affect your bank account this May. 4 confirmed government benefit payments are scheduled to arrive in May 2026. The dates are locked in. The amounts are confirmed, and there are specific steps you need to take right now to make sure every single dollar you are entitled to actually reaches you. This is accurate, verified information based on official government sources, explained clearly without jargon, because that is what you deserve. The big picture: 4 programs, 1 critical week. Every month, the Canada Revenue Agency and Service Canada work together to deliver billions of dollars in benefits to millions of Canadians. These payments are not handouts. They are programs that Canadians have paid into, qualified for through their residency, and in many cases spent decades earning through hard work. The system is designed to support you through retirement, through low income, and through life's unexpected challenges. In May 2026, 4 major federal benefit programs are confirmed to deliver payments over a concentrated stretch of days. The Canada Child Benefit is scheduled for Wednesday, May 20th. The Canada Disability Benefit follows the very next day, Thursday, May 21st. And on Wednesday, May 27th, 2026, both the Canada Pension Plan and Old Age Security payments, including the Guaranteed Income Supplement for those who qualify, are confirmed to be deposited into bank accounts across the country. These dates have been officially published by the CRA and Service Canada through the Federal Benefits Payment Calendar. They are confirmed, not estimates. If you have direct deposit set up and you are currently receiving these benefits, you can plan your finances with complete confidence around these exact dates. Canada Pension Plan. What arrives on May 27th and how much? The Canada Pension Plan is a contributory retirement pension. That means you had to have worked in Canada and paid into CPP during your working years to qualify. Both you and your employer contributed a percentage of your earnings to the CPP fund throughout your career. The amount you receive in retirement is based on how much you contributed, for how long, and the age at which you chose to start receiving your pension. For 2026, the maximum CPP retirement pension for someone who begins collecting at age 65 is approximately $1,133 per month. However, this is very important to understand. Most Canadians do not receive the maximum. The average monthly CPP payment is significantly lower because it depends entirely on your individual contribution history. If you worked part-time, took time away from the workforce, cared for children or family members during your working years, or earned a lower income throughout your career, your CPP amount will reflect that. It is not an error. It is by design. Your CPP amount was set in January 2026 and will remain the same throughout the entire year. Unlike OAS, which adjusts quarterly, CPP is adjusted once annually in January based on changes to the Consumer Price Index from the previous year. The amount you received in January 2026 is the same amount that will arrive on May 27th. If you are unsure of your exact CPP amount, you can log into My Service Canada account at canada.ca to view your payment details at any time. CPP is taxable income. It must be reported on your annual income tax return, and federal and provincial income tax may be deducted from your payments depending on your overall income situation. If you want to change the amount of tax being withheld from your CPP, you can request that adjustment through Service Canada directly. Old Age Security confirmed rates for the April to June 2026. Quarter Old Age Security works quite differently from CPP. OAS is a monthly pension available to most Canadians who are 65 years of age or older. Unlike CPP, OAS does not require any work history. You do not need to have worked or paid into any pension plan to receive it. What matters for OAS is your age and how long you have lived in Canada as a citizen or legal resident after turning 18. To receive the full OAS pension, you generally need to have lived in Canada for at least 40 years after age 18. Fewer years of residency may still qualify you for a partial pension. For the April to June 2026 quarter, OAS received a 0.1% quarterly increase, which translates to a 2.1% increase over the full year comparing April 2025 to April 2026. This adjustment was confirmed by the official Government of Canada website and is reflected in your May 27th payment. Here is how OAS differs from CPP in its adjustment cycle. While CPP adjusts once in January, OAS is reviewed every quarter, in January, April, July, and October, to keep pace with real-time changes in the cost of living. And here is a protection that every OAS recipient should know. OAS amounts can go up when inflation rises, but they will never go down if the cost of living falls. That downward protection is built permanently into the legislation. Seniors between the ages of 65 and 74 currently receive one confirmed rate. Seniors who are 75 years of age or older receive a higher amount. In July 2022, the Government of Canada permanently increased OAS by 10% for seniors aged 75 and older to help address the higher costs that older seniors typically face. That 10% increase remains fully in place and continues to apply in 2026. If you turned 75 at any point after July 2022, you were automatically moved to the higher rate the month following your birthday. No application was required. There is one situation where your OAS can be reduced. This is called the OAS recovery tax. Most seniors know it simply as the clawback. If your individual net world income for 2024 exceeded $90,197, you may be required to repay a portion of your OAS. The repayment rate is 15 cents for every dollar of income above that threshold. For 2026, seniors aged 65 to 74 face a repayment range that starts at $93,454 and ends at $104,750, above which OAS is fully eliminated. Seniors aged 75 and older face a higher upper threshold of $160,696 because of the 10% enhancement. If this applies to you, the CRA generally spreads the repayment across 12 monthly OAS deductions rather than taking it all at once. For most Canadian seniors, this clawback does not apply. But if you have significant investment income, a generous workplace pension, rental income, or substantial RRIF withdrawals, it is worth checking your net income carefully. The Guaranteed Income Supplement, the most underused benefit in Canada. If your income is low, OAS opens the door to something even more valuable: the Guaranteed Income Supplement. The GIS is a tax-free monthly benefit available to low-income seniors who already receive OAS. This is one of the most important and most consistently underused programs in Canada. Unlike OAS, GIS is completely non-taxable. It does not count as taxable income, you do not report it on your tax return, and it will never reduce your OAS or trigger the recovery tax. For the April to June 2026 quarter, GIS amounts also received the 0.1% quarterly increase. For a single senior, widowed senior, or divorced senior whose 2024 annual net income is below $22,512, the maximum monthly GIS is $1,185. For a married or common law couple where both partners receive the full OAS pension, the maximum GIS is up to $668.08 per month per person, provided combined annual income stays below $29,904. These amounts are confirmed for the current quarter. When July arrives, Service Canada will recalculate GIS based on the income reported on your 2025 tax return. If your income decreased in 2025 compared to 2024, perhaps because you fully retired, a part-time job ended, or a one-time investment gain in 2024 did not repeat, your GIS payments may increase starting with the July payment. If your income increased, GIS may decrease. And if you did not file your 2025 tax return, your GIS may be suspended entirely until the CRA has a current return on file. There is also a benefit within the OAS family called the allowance, which supports Canadians between the ages of 60 and 64 whose spouse or common law partner is receiving both GIS and a full OAS pension. The maximum monthly allowance for April to June 2026 is $1,411.30. For surviving spouses or common law partners who are widowed and between the ages of 60 and 64, the allowance for the survivor has a maximum of $1,782.15 per month for the same quarter. Both the allowance and the allowance for the survivor are completely non-taxable, Many people in exactly these situations have never applied simply because they did not know these programs existed. If either description fits your circumstances, contact Service Canada immediately. All OAS family payments, OAS, GIS, the allowance, and the allowance for the survivor, will arrive together on May 27, 2026, deposited directly into your bank account alongside your CPP payment if you receive both. The Canada Child Benefit and Canada Disability Benefit. The Canada Child Benefit arriving May 20th, 2026, is a monthly tax-free payment helping eligible families with the cost of raising children under the age of 18. The amount a family receives is based on adjusted family net income from the previous tax year. For children under 6, the maximum annual benefit is approximately $7,976, or about $665 per month. For children between 6 and 17, the maximum is approximately $6,548 annually, or about $562 per month. Starting in July 2026, a 2% inflation indexation increase will raise these amounts slightly. The Canada Disability Benefit arriving May 21, 2026, provides up to $200 per month to eligible Canadians living with disabilities. Eligibility requires holding a valid disability tax credit certificate. While $200 per month is modest, it is designed as foundational federal support, and changes are expected in future years. The tax return connection that cannot be overstated. Every program discussed here, CPP, OAS, GIS, CCB, CDB, is tied directly to your most recent tax filing. The CRA and Service Canada use your tax information to calculate how much you receive, to determine whether you remain eligible, and to adjust your payments going forward. If you have not filed your taxes, the government cannot properly calculate what you are owed. The tax filing deadline for 2025 returns was April 30th, 2026. If you filed before that deadline, you are in good shape for the July recalculation. If you did not file, even if you have zero income and owe nothing, you need to take action as soon as possible. Late filing does not immediately stop your CPP or OAS, but it can cause a temporary suspension of your GIS starting in July 2026 when Service Canada performs its annual recalculation. For low-income seniors, that suspension means losing a benefit they depend on every single month, not because they are ineligible, but simply because a tax return was not submitted, even if you earn absolutely no income, even if you have no taxes owing. You must file a return every year to keep your GIS uninterrupted. If you are concerned about this, you can contact the CRA directly at 1-800-387-1193 for benefit-related questions, or Service Canada at 1-800-277-9914 for questions about your CPP and OAS payments. Free tax filing assistance is also available through the CRA's Community Volunteer Income Tax Program, which helps seniors and low-income Canadians file their returns at no charge. Many clinics are still operating and can be found at canada.ca. Making sure your May 27th payment actually arrives. There are specific things you should check right now to ensure your payment arrives without any issue. First, confirm that your direct deposit banking information on file with Service Canada is current and accurate. An outdated or incorrect bank account number is one of the most common reasons payments are missed or delayed. You can update your banking information through your My Service Canada account online by calling 1-800-277-9914 or by visiting a Service Canada centre in person. Second, make sure your address is current with both the CRA and Service Canada if you receive paper mail from either agency. Third, check whether the CRA has sent you any correspondence requesting additional documentation or information. An unresolved CRA request can sometimes place a hold on your payment until the matter is resolved. If your May 27th payment does not arrive within a few business days of the scheduled date, follow these steps. First, check your My Service Canada account online to confirm whether the payment was issued. Then contact your bank to verify whether a deposit is pending. If neither resolves the issue, call Service Canada at 1-800-277-9914 to investigate. Do not wait and assume the problem will resolve itself. The earlier you flag an issue, the faster it can be corrected. If you are still receiving paper checks rather than direct deposit, switching now is the single most practical step you can take for your own financial security. Checks can be lost, stolen from mailboxes, or delayed by weather and postal disruptions. Direct deposit means your money arrives securely and automatically on payment day without you having to go anywhere or do anything. What is coming after May? The July recalculation and beyond. The most significant recalculation of the year for OAS and GIS happens every July. When Service Canada processes its July 2026 recalculation, it will use the income you reported on your 2025 tax return. If your income decreased in 2025, your GIS payments may increase starting with the July 29th deposit. If your income increased, your GIS may decrease. And if you did not file your 2025 return, your GIS may be suspended entirely until the CRA has a current return on file. The July 2026 recalculation will also incorporate any new quarterly CPI adjustments for OAS. The full July to September 2026 rates for OAS, GIS, and the allowances will be published by Service Canada ahead of the July payment date. Looking further forward, July 2026 will also bring a 2% indexation increase to the Canada Child Benefit and the launch of the Enhanced Canada Groceries and Essentials Benefit, formerly known as the GST-HST credit, which is expected to offer a 25% boost over 5 years beginning that month. Additionally, the federal government has confirmed a one-time grocery benefit top-up payment of up to $533 for a family of 4, scheduled for June 5, 2026, paid automatically to eligible recipients who received the January 2026 GST-HST credit. No separate application is required. Your complete action plan for May 2026. Here is everything you need to do right now. File your 2025 income tax return immediately if you have not already done so. Your GIS eligibility for July 2026 depends on it. Log into my Service Canada account at canada.ca to verify your direct deposit banking information and confirm your expected payment amounts for May 27th. If anything looks incorrect, if the amount seems wrong, or if you are not seeing a payment you believe you should be receiving, contact Service Canada directly. Do not wait and assume the problem will resolve itself. If you are a senior who has not yet applied for OAS or GIS and you are 65 or older, apply as soon as possible. Service Canada typically sends an automatic enrollment letter several months before your 65th birthday, but this does not happen in every case. If you are past 65 and have not applied, retroactive OAS payments may be available for up to 11 months in certain circumstances, but only if you apply. If you are between 60 and 64 and your spouse or partner receives both GIS and a full OAS pension, you may qualify for the allowance, a benefit worth over $1,400 per month, completely non-taxable, that many people in exactly that situation have never applied for simply because they did not know it existed. Contact Service Canada to check your eligibility today. A final word on accuracy. There is a great deal of information circulating online about Canadian government benefits, and not all of it is accurate. Some sources claim large one-time payments or universal checks for all seniors that have never been officially announced. Everything shared here is based on confirmed, verified information from official Government of Canada announcements and publications from Service Canada and the CRA, accurate as of late April 2026. Canada's pension and benefit programs, CPP, OAS, GIS, are the result of decades of policy built to protect the financial dignity of Canadian seniors. They are not perfect, and they do not cover every need, but they are reliable. They are indexed to inflation, and they belong to you. Understanding them, staying informed about the dates and amounts, and making sure your paperwork is in order is how you make the most of every dollar you have earned. If you have a specific question about your eligibility, your payment amount, or any of the programs covered here, write it in the comments. Every comment is read and responses are given. You are not alone in navigating this system, and no question is too small. If this was useful, please share it with a friend, a neighbor, or a family member who depends on these benefits. Many seniors are not online, and a simple conversation about these payment dates and what to check could make a real difference in someone's month. Subscribe to stay current every time something changes. New payment dates, updated amounts, new programs. When updates happen, you deserve to hear about them clearly, completely, and without the noise of general news. Smart Pension Canada.